You don't owe the world an explanation, and the sooner you truly believe that, the more powerful you become. Think about how much of your energy goes into it, justifying your choices, defending your decisions, explaining why you did this, why you didn't do that, why you changed, why you left, why you said no. You lay it all out, hoping that if people just understood your reasons, they'd finally approve. And they almost never do. They just take your explanation and find a new angle to question. Here's the trap you've been stuck in. You believe that if you explain yourself well enough, people will understand you. And if they understand you, they'll accept you. So you keep explaining, keep defending, keep handing out reasons like a man on trial for a crime he didn't commit. But the most powerful people you'll ever meet don't do this. They make their choices and they move. They don't hold a press conference for their life. They don't justify every step to people who were never going to get it anyway. And that silence, that refusal to explain, is exactly what makes them impossible to control. Machiavelli understood the crowd better than anyone. He wrote, "The vulgar crowd is always taken by appearances, and the world consists chiefly of the vulgar." Translation: most people only ever see the surface. They will never truly grasp your reasons, so exhausting yourself explaining them to everyone is a waste of the one thing you can't get back, your energy. Today I'm going to show you why you should never explain yourself to everyone, and how to take back all the power you've been giving away one justification at a time. This isn't about shutting people out or becoming cold. It's about knowing the difference between the few who've earned your explanation and the many who never will. Drop this in the comments before we start. I don't explain, I show. Let's begin. Number 1. Every explanation you don't owe makes you smaller. Watch what happens in your own body when you over-explain. You lean in, your voice speeds up, you pile reason on top of reason, and underneath all of it, you're sending one quiet message. I need you to be okay with this. That single signal changes how people see you instantly. You stop looking like someone who made a decision and start looking like someone asking for permission. Confidence doesn't explain itself into the ground. A person who's sure of their choice states it once, calmly, and lets it stand. A person who isn't sure keeps talking, keeps justifying, keeps adding more, because deep down they're hoping the other person's approval will finally make them feel okay about it. And people can feel that difference in an instant. Machiavelli knew that how you appear shapes how you're treated. It is not necessary to have all the good qualities, he wrote, but it is very necessary to appear to have them. You can be completely right in your reasoning and still lose respect, simply because you appeared unsure of your own right to decide. Appearance moves people long before logic ever does. So here's the shift. Make your decision, say it plainly, and then close your mouth. You don't need to build a case. You don't need 3 reasons and a backstory. That doesn't work for me, is a complete sentence. I've decided not to, needs nothing after it. The less you explain, the more solid you look. And the more solid you look, the less people feel entitled to question you in the first place. Drop this in the comments. I don't over-explain. Number 2. Everything you explain becomes a weapon in the wrong hands. Here's what people don't realize when they're busy defending themselves. Every reason you give is information. And information, in the hands of someone who isn't on your side, becomes ammunition. You explain why you made a choice, and now they know exactly which angle to attack. You reveal what you were feeling, and now they know exactly which button to press next time. The more you explain, the more surface area you give people to work with. You think you're clearing things up. You're actually handing your critics a detailed map of where you're soft, what you fear, and what you care about most. And people who want to get under your skin will use every bit of it. Machiavelli saw how easily people twist what they're given. Whoever seeks to deceive, he wrote, will always find someone willing to be deceived. The world is full of people who'll take your honest explanation and reshape it into whatever story serves them. You gave them the raw material. They just rearranged it. Silence gives them nothing. When you don't explain, there's nothing to twist, nothing to quote back to you out of context, nothing to weaponize. Your reasons stay yours, locked in a place no one can reach, and a person who reveals nothing is a person who can't be turned inside out. So stop narrating your reasoning to people who haven't earned your trust. Keep the why to yourself. Let your decision stand on its own, with no explanation attached, and watch how quickly people run out of things to use against you. Drop this in the comments. I give them nothing to use. Number 3. You cannot explain your way into a closed mind. This is the one that will save you the most wasted energy, so really hear it. When someone has already decided who you are, no explanation on earth will change it. They didn't reach that conclusion through logic, so you can't remove it with logic. They feel a certain way about you, and their mind will bend every fact you give to fit the story they've already chosen. You've lived this. You've explained yourself perfectly, laid out every reason, been completely honest, and watched the person nod, and then believe exactly what they wanted to believe anyway. That wasn't a failure of your explanation. It was never about your explanation. Their conclusion came first, and everything you said just got filtered through it. Machiavelli understood that people judge from the outside in. Men judge generally more by the eye than by the hand, he wrote, for everyone can see, but few can feel. Most people react to the surface, to how things look, to the story they've already built in their head. Your careful inner reasons live in a place they were never going to look. So save your breath. Trying to explain yourself to someone who's already made up their mind is like arguing with a locked door. You just tire yourself out while the door doesn't move an inch. Let them think what they think. Their version of you lives in their head, and you don't have to live there with it. The freedom comes the moment you accept that not everyone is meant to understand you, and that's completely fine. Drop this in the comments. I let them think. Number 4. Silence carries a weight your words never could. There's something that happens when you stop explaining. People lean in. The absence of a justification creates a kind of gravity. When you make a move and offer no reason for it, people are left to wonder, and that wondering makes you larger in their minds, not smaller. What you don't say ends up louder than anything you could have said. Think about the people who intimidate you a little, in a good way, the ones who seem untouchable. They don't overshare. They don't explain their choices to the room. They do what they do, and they let the silence around it speak. You find yourself respecting them, more precisely because they didn't beg for your understanding. Restraint reads as strength, every single time. Machiavelli put it bluntly. It is much safer to be feared than to be loved, if one of the two must be lacking. And this kind of quiet fear isn't about cruelty. It's the respect people feel for someone they can't fully read, someone who doesn't hand over their reasons on demand. You can't manage what you can't predict, and you can't predict a person who stays silent. So the next time you feel the pull to explain, to fill the awkward quiet with justifications, resist it. Let the silence sit there. Let people sit in their own curiosity. That discomfort you feel in the quiet is exactly where your power is hiding. Sit in it long enough, and you'll feel the whole dynamic shift toward you. Say less. Mean more. Let your silence do the heavy lifting. Drop this in the comments. My silence speaks. Number 5. The need to be understood is a leash, and other people are holding it. Let's get to the root of why you explain so much in the first place. Underneath it all is a hunger to be understood. You want people to see your heart, to know your intentions, to get why you did what you did. It feels like one of the most human needs in the world. But here's the hard truth. As long as you need everyone to understand you, everyone controls you. Think about what that need actually does. Someone misjudges you, and your whole day is wrecked. Someone believes a wrong story about you, and you can't rest until you set it straight. You chase people down to explain, to correct, to make them see. And every one of those moments is you handing another person the power to disturb your peace just by misunderstanding you. Machiavelli believed real power starts with self-command. He who wishes to be obeyed must know how to command, he wrote. And the first thing you have to command is yourself, your own need for approval, your own itch to be understood. If a stranger's wrong opinion can pull you off balance, then you don't hold your own center. They do. The freest people alive made a quiet peace with being misunderstood. They know who they are, and they stopped requiring the world to confirm it. Someone gets them wrong? Fine. They don't flinch, because their sense of self doesn't depend on the accuracy of anyone else's opinion. That's the goal. Get to a place where you'd rather be misunderstood and at peace than understood and enslaved to everyone's approval. Drop this in the comments. I don't need to be understood. Number 6. Let your results do the explaining. Here's the beautiful part. You never actually have to defend yourself with words, because life gives you a far more powerful language, results. While everyone else is busy explaining, justifying, and arguing their case, you can simply go quiet and let what you build speak for you. Nothing shuts down doubt like undeniable proof. People questioned your decision, let the outcome answer them. People doubted your path, let where it takes you be the reply. You don't have to win the argument in the moment. You just have to be right over time, and time has a way of making explanations unnecessary. The result arrives, and suddenly there's nothing left to debate. Machiavelli said it as clearly as it can be said. In the actions of all men, and especially of princes, where there is no court of appeal, one judges by the result. People forget the reasons. They forget the doubts, the arguments, the criticism. What stays is the outcome. Win, and your silence looks like wisdom. The exact same silence, followed by success, becomes proof you knew something they didn't. So stop spending energy defending a decision you haven't finished proving. Pour that energy into the work instead. Let your critics talk while you build. Then let the finished result walk into the room and say everything you refuse to say out loud. An explanation convinces no one who didn't already want to believe you. A result convinces everyone, whether they wanted to or not. Drop this in the comments. My results explain me. Number 7. A rare few have earned your explanation. Know exactly who they are. Now let's be clear, because this was never about becoming a wall. Never explaining yourself to everyone doesn't mean never explaining yourself to anyone. There's a difference, and it's everything. There is a small handful of people in your life who have genuinely earned the real you, your reasons, your heart, your honest thoughts. The whole point is learning to tell them apart from the crowd. The mistake most people make is treating everyone the same. They give the stranger the same access as the lifelong friend. They defend themselves to a random critic with the same energy they'd give someone who truly loves them. Smart people draw a hard line. The trusted few get the full explanation. Everyone else gets a calm, kind, and complete silence. Machiavelli understood that the people you surround yourself with reveal your judgment. The first method for estimating the intelligence of a ruler, he wrote, is to look at the men he has around him. Choose that inner circle with care. These are the people who ask about your reasons because they actually want to understand you, not because they want to judge you or use it against you. So save your explanations for that room, and no further. When someone who's earned it wants to understand you, open up completely. When someone who hasn't demands the same, give them nothing but a polite, unbothered smile. That's not coldness. That's knowing your reasons are valuable and refusing to spend them on people who never earned the right to hear them. Drop this in the comments. I explain only to the earned, so let's bring it all together. You came in feeling like you owed the world a justification for your life. Hopefully you're leaving lighter. You learned that every explanation you don't owe makes you look smaller, that everything you explain can become a weapon in the wrong hands, that you cannot reason your way into a mind that's already closed. That silence carries a weight your words never could, that the need to be understood is a leash other people hold, and that your results will always explain you better than your words. And finally, that a rare few have earned your honesty, while everyone else has earned your silence. But this only changes your life if you actually put it down, that heavy habit of defending yourself to everyone. So here's your challenge for the week. The next time you feel that urge to explain a decision to someone who didn't earn it, don't. State it once if you have to, or say nothing at all, and then let the silence stand. Notice how it feels to keep your reasons instead of spending them. Notice how much energy you suddenly have. And remember what I said. This was never about shutting people out. Keep explaining, fully and warmly, to the handful who truly want to understand you. Just stop pouring your heart out to a crowd that was only ever looking at the surface. You don't need the whole world to understand you. You need to understand yourself, and surround yourself with the few who do. Everyone else can think whatever they like. It was never your job to fix their opinion. So drop this final line in the comments and mean it. My life is my explanation. If this took a weight off your shoulders, hit that like button, subscribe, and share it with someone who's been explaining themselves to people who never deserved it. Ring the bell so you don't miss what's next. Until then, stay calm, stay quiet, and stop defending a life that speaks for itself.